Well, Dash, as long as everybody's taking the opposite of what I tell them to, they could still be making money.
Hey, you told them to do it too.
Believe it.
Welcome to the Steel City. Is everybody ready to go? Let's proclaim the greatest radio show.
Welcome to our Week 9 Pick Show. I'm your host, Jim Sella, in studio with J Dash and JK47. Another miserable week for me. Dash, you can just go ahead and skip my stats whenever you're giving them. And then when I give my picks this week, I want to let everybody know, don't touch my picks because I'm trying a new thing. I'm making all my picks and then taking the opposite of what I pick. We're going to see how that works out for me. If I go freaking 4-1 this week, I'm going to be pretty pissed and happy at the same time.
Even for your pick of the week?
No, my pick of the week stayed the same. So I guess maybe 3-1.
All right, well, yeah, in week 8, you went 1-4, so obviously you didn't do great. But everybody else went over 500. 47.
Thanks for making me feel good.
47, Easy, and me, we all went 3-2. And Johnny Parlay ended up going 4-1.
I think he cheated.
Now in 2015 here, I'm sitting at 23, 16-1. But Johnny Parlay, after that great week 8, he's caught up pretty much. 22, 17-1. 47, he's sitting at 19, 18-1. So we're all over 500. You got Easy at 18, 23-1. And Jim, you're 14, 25-1 right now.
Need 2 5-0 weeks to dig out of it.
All time, I'm 57, 47-2. Johnny Parlay, 56, 55-4 now. 47, he's still above 500, sitting at 22, 20-1. Easy's 39, 44-2. And Jim, 54, 74-2.
It's gangster.
Couple other stats here real quick. I'm 52, 41-1 all time in my regular season picks. I've lost more picks than I won just twice in 8 weeks this season. Now, Johnny Parlay, he's actually 10-5 in his last 15 picks. He's 54, 47-2 all time in regular season picks. And he's won at least 3 of his 5 picks, 6 of the 8 weeks this season. All right, so let's start it off here. We're going to go with 47's game first. He's going with the Chicago-San Diego game. Chicago is at San Diego, and San Diego is minus 3.5. The over-under is 49.5 in this game.
Interesting line.
It is an interesting line. I'd like to see it at 3. I'd be much more confident in San Diego. But 3.5, it's not going to make me shy away from it. This is a game where the 2 best offensive players are hurt. Keenan Allen for San Diego, he's done for the season. Chicago, Matt Forte is going to be out for the next game or 2. Now, I think it hurts Chicago more because you look at San Diego, Phillip Rivers is a quarterback that can be okay without Keenan Allen. I mean, you still have Stevie Johnson out there, Malcolm Floyd, Dontrell Inman, Danny Woodhead, Melvin Gordon, Antonio Gates. So there's still a lot of weapons out there for Phillip Rivers. And you look at Chicago, I think everything revolved around Matt Forte and that offense. But if you look, I mean, Chicago, since their bad start, the first 3 games of the season, they got blown out. But the past 4 games, they're 2-2, and they haven't lost by more than 3 points. So that's why that line scares me a little bit here. But San Diego, you look at them too. They lost their last 4 games. And really, they beat the 2 teams they should have beat. They beat the Lions and the Browns. Outside of that, they played the Bengals, the Vikings, the Steelers, the Packers, the Raiders, and at Baltimore is a tough game for them as well, and they lost that game by 3. But I think this is a game San Diego should win. They're sort of like Detroit and the Browns out there, and San Diego should win this game by 3.5. I'm not sure, but I'm going to stick with San Diego here. 47.
I like San Diego in this game. I don't like the Bears' passing defense. Of course, Phillip Rivers is going to throw the ball a lot. I mean, yeah, Keenan Allen being out is going to hurt, but he has the other weapons.
Yeah, Keenan Allen's going to hurt me more than it hurts Phillip Rivers.
Even in the best-case scenario for Chicago, I mean, I just really don't think that Jay Cutler is going to outthrow Phillip Rivers.
No, but I mean, San Diego's defense isn't great by any means either. And like I said, Chicago's been keeping it close, but that's with Matt Forte in the lineup, and that's the big difference here to me.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say Chicago.
So what you mean is San Diego. We got it. Go ahead.
No, I already changed my pick. I originally picked San Diego and switched it to Chicago.
So what are you taking here then?
Chicago, that's what I just said.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you're saying San Diego.
No, because my original pick was San Diego. When I looked at all the games, I picked, and then I switched. So I already have switched it.
Okay, so you say you're going to go 4-1 this week then, is what you're saying. Something like that. 4-1,
5-0, yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. I'm just telling everybody that I'm trying a new formula, so they might want to stay away from my picks this week and every other week. But I'm going to go with the Chicago Bears.
You lost me. Go ahead. Keep moving on.
I think they can cover this line. I don't think San Diego's that great. I mean, I know Phillip Rivers is a good quarterback, and everybody thinks he's better than Jay Cutler. I know Forte being out hurts the Bears, but I think their defense is starting to play a little bit better. I don't know if there's a huge drop-off between Forte and this Langford. I think he can handle the rock at least a little bit. I think they're going to surprise everybody and come in and actually win this football game, not even just cover the line. Bears, baby. Bears.
Well, we got 3 on San Diego, 47, me, and Easy are going San Diego. Johnny Parlay's going to go with you, and he's been picking well recently.
Believe it.
All right, we're going to go with my pick of the week next. I am 4-4 in picks of the week this season, 13-6-1 all time. I'm going with the Green Bay game. Green Bay is minus 2.5 at Carolina, and the over-under is 46 in this game. A lot of people were taking Green Bay to cover against Denver last week. I think Denver is a better team than people think. A lot of people are down on them because of how Peyton Manning has looked so far this season. I still think they're a dominant team, and I had a feeling they were going to come out and beat Green Bay, but I think Green Bay is going to have a bounce-back game here, go into Carolina, and win this game. And since the line's just minus 2.5, I think that's a good line, and I think Green Bay will come out and cover this. Now, Carolina, don't get me wrong, I usually don't do this. When it's an undefeated team this late in the season and they're an underdog, I usually think, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I usually think that that's a good line the other way. In most circumstances, I'd take Carolina. But they just went out, had a big win against Indy here on Monday night, correct? That was the Monday night game?
Yep.
And Indy almost came back in that game, almost beat them. Carolina, in overtime, won that game. It was a big win. I think they're going to have a little bit of a letdown this week. I still think Carolina is one of the best teams in the NFC, but I think Green Bay is going to have a bounce back, Carolina a letdown, and Green Bay is going to win this game.
I don't think the Packers are as good of a team as they have been in the years past. Losing Jordy Nelson hurt them more than people realize. Cobb hasn't been the same. James Jones has been good, mostly just in the end zone, though. It's not like he's putting up beast catches or beast yards or anything. Eddie Lacy's been a bit of a letdown for the Packers this year. Aaron Rodgers is still playing well, but I think Carolina rides the high of almost blowing that game, but then coming back to hold on for the victory. It's another game at home 2 weeks in a row. Teams love that. They just get to sit around, kind of relax. I think the Carolina Panthers win this game in easier fashion than most people realize. I think Green Bay is trending downward for the rest of the year, where Carolina, although they don't have a lot of offensive weapons, it's basically Newton, Olsen, and Stewart out there. I just like the way Cam's playing right now. I think he's going to beat up on Green Bay's defense. They're not going to be able to contain him. I think Carolina wins this game pretty easily.
Well, Carolina and Green Bay, they both have some of the best defenses in the game. Green Bay had a letdown last week versus Denver. But, I mean, Carolina, they really haven't beat a great offense yet. The Saints, they're probably the best offense they beat so far this season, unless you want to consider the Colts this past week. But outside of that, I think Green Bay's on a little bit of another level than those two teams. What do you think, 47?
Well, this is what I kind of saw against Denver. You know, I saw Aaron Rodgers without any real weapons, without any real threats in the offensive game. You know, I mean, I think this game's going to be close. Very close, actually. I mean, I just don't think that Green Bay's going to go in there and win this game. I think this is the second straight tough defense they're playing.
So that's it. Who are you saying? Green Bay? Carolina?
Yeah, I'm going with Carolina.
I was big on Green Bay's offense going into the season, even with Jordy Nelson hurt. I picked Randall Cobb in both my fantasy teams, but I've since dealt him because I just don't like how sporadic it's been. They're just not as consistently good as they were in other years.
47 and Jim, you're both going Carolina. The other three of us are going Green Bay in this game. So spread majority says Green Bay.
Me and 47 say Bluck you.
All right, let's move on to Johnny Parlay's pick of the week. He is 4-4 on the season in picks of the week, 12-13-1 all time. He's going with my original pick of the week, and then he texted you that he liked the same game, and then you told him I did, and he just texted back, what? I like New York.
He likes New York, man.
The New York Giants -2.5 at Tampa Bay. The over-under is 48 in this game. And I got to agree with what he says here. He's saying the New York Giants. Now, the Giants' offense looked great last week. They went out and put 49 points up against the Saints. But their defense obviously looked terrible in that game. But they're still in first place in their division. They're still a solid team. And the Buccaneers, I mean, they don't have the same type of offense that New Orleans does, obviously. But Jameis Winston's been playing solid football. He hasn't been turning the ball over recently, but he's without one of his best targets in Vincent Jackson. And I just think the New York Giants are still a better team than Tampa Bay at this point. And Tampa Bay did get the win last week against a good Falcons team in Atlanta, but they also haven't won 2 games in a row this season. And I don't see it happening against the first place Giants.
First place Giants. It just sounds funny.
Yeah.
I'm going with Tampa Bay, taking a home dog, taking a chance, got to catch up in that win column. I think the Giants can still win this game. I think the line's going to change, too, eventually before the end of this week. It could end up being Giants -4 or 5 before everything's said and done. But even at 2.5, I like Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I just think Winston gets it going. Maybe he does get his first back-to-back win this season here. The Giants could win this game. Field goal maybe at the end, but I don't think it's going to win it by a field goal. You know, they'll win it by 1 or 2 points and still cover. Basically just trying to chase the win column here and going against the grain because this is a spread solo.
Please believe. What do you think, 47?
I like New York in this matchup.
Yes, because he's going to spread solo, but why?
We need to know why.
Eli Manning.
Yeah, I do love Eli Manning.
47 says whoever has the better quarterback wins 60% of the time, every time.
Yeah, most of the times I'm right about that, too.
It's got real bits of Panther in it, so you know it's good.
Yeah, 4 of us go in New York. Spread solo for Jim on Tampa Bay. How about your pick of the week here, Jim? You're 3-4-1 this season in picks of the week. 13-13-1 all time. So you need a win this week or you'll fall under 500 in this category as well, man.
I know, and this is what I'm actually kind of good at is my pick of the week. And I'm actually combining my pick of the week with my survivor pool pick I got going. It's me and 2 other people in this survivor pool. So although I may not be able to pick against the spread, I'm pretty good at picking winners. So I'm going to go with Denver at Indianapolis. Denver's -3.5. The Colts, they showed some offense late in the game last night against the Carolina Panthers. They drove down and put up,
26 maybe?
26 total points, something like that. 23 points after, the 11-minute mark of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, when it stopped raining, Andrew Luck
went crazy. But like you said earlier, I think Denver may be a little bit better than people think. Peyton Manning isn't as good as he was last year. He's not throwing for the yards or the touchdowns, but he's efficient. He's not making as many mistakes. It seems like he's a little more rested after that bye week. Denver's D is scary good. And if C.J. Anderson can keep it going like he did last week, this Denver offense will be very efficient running the football and throwing the football. And I'm just not sold on the Colts. Andrew Luck's got something wrong with him. Either his shoulders is hurt. They're saying he has broken ribs. This guy just doesn't look the same as he has. T.Y. Hilton doesn't look the same. I've seen him drop 2 or 3 passes in that game that he should have caught. So I think Indy, this is going to be a down year for them. They might still win their division because I think they're tied with Houston right now at 3-5 for the lead. But Denver's probably going to go and win this game pretty handedly, definitely by 5 points at least.
Yeah, I mean, Indy's been losing to some good teams recently. They lost to the Patriots, the Saints, and the Panthers the last 3 weeks. But like you said, I don't think Indy's as good of a team as people thought at the beginning of the season. Andre Johnson wasn't what people thought he'd be. Frank Gore, I mean, he's been okay, but he's an older back out there. They just got Ahmad Bradshaw back. Maybe he'll get involved in the offense more, but he's an older guy too. Then you look at Denver, one of the best defenses in football. Yeah, Peyton Manning may not be the same quarterback he used to be, but he has enough weapons around him where he's still going to be productive out there. I mean, Demaryius Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders, they just bring in Vernon Davis, obviously. Ronnie Hillman has been running well. C.J. Anderson looks like he's back on track. So they still got a ton of weapons for Manning to produce out there. And their offense is good enough to win games. It's not like Manning's so bad that they just can't stay in games. Now, they are playing some close games. I know they went out and blew out the Packers, but the 3 weeks before that, they were playing some pretty close games. But I'm not going to go against Denver. I believe Denver is the team this year that people are forgetting about. And 3.5, I'd rather it be 3, but I'm going to stick with Denver here.
Do you like my survivor pick with Denver?
It's scary, so I wouldn't go with it. But
Well, if you think they can win by 3.5, then you think they can win.
I mean, I wouldn't pick this game, though. There's other options out there I like more. Like you said, Johnny Manziel starting for Cleveland in Cincinnati. Cincinnati's 7-0. I see no way in hell that Cleveland wins that game. I would take Cincinnati in my survivor pick.
That's what I was going to do.
Never. Never.
All right, let's move on to Easy's pick of the week here. He's 3-5 this season in picks of the week. 8, 11, and 1 all time. I actually like his pick here. He's going with Jacksonville at the New York Jets. The Jets are minus 2.5, and the over-under is 40. He's saying the New York Jets in this game. I know they got some questions of quarterback out there. Ryan Fitzpatrick hurt his non-throwing hand. He's actually having surgery on that thumb at some point. We'll have to see when, if he can get back healthy enough to play before the surgery. I don't know yet. But Geno Smith, he has some questions about his health. If he goes, though, I mean, he wasn't terrible in this game this past week. But even if Bryce Petty plays, Jacksonville, they're a team that can put up some fantasy points, but they don't have a great defense, and they're mistake prone. In the New York Jets, they showed they're a good team, and it's because of that defense that they're a good team out there. I know they had a letdown this past week, but 2.5, I think because the Jets lost this past week, you're getting a good line here with them this week at home, and they have to win by less than a field goal. So I'm saying Jets all day.
This pick scares the hell out of me, even though I'm going with the Jets. I think we're all going Jets. It's a spread sweep. But with no Ryan Fitzpatrick, the offense is totally different. Brandon Marshall's also hurt. I am low on Geno. Plus, he has some rib injuries. I don't think it's going to be Bryce Petty from what I'm hearing. If Fitzpatrick or Geno can't go, they're going to bring somebody in, like a Matt Flynn maybe. And even though
well, if they didn't do it yet, they better hurry up. You know what I mean? Because he got to learn something.
Well, yeah, I mean, today is usually the day that they bring people in for workouts, so it would hear something by the end of today or maybe tomorrow, Wednesday. But yeah, maybe Geno is healthy enough, but it's scary. But yeah, I think you're right. You're getting a favorable line here because the Jets got smoked by Oakland.
Is that what you're thinking, 47? We're going to spread sweep here.
That's definitely what I'm thinking. Took the words right out of my mouth.
We need a street sweeper sound for whenever we have spread sweeps.
It is a scary line, though, because, I mean, I could see Jacksonville playing well offensively and actually keeping up a little bit.
I mean, it's possible. If the Jets didn't have such a great defense, I'd think so. Because Jacksonville, I mean, I like what they have out there.
They got some weapons, that's for sure. I mean, they could definitely make a game of this.
I see the Jets winning by like maybe 3 or 4, or Jacksonville just smoking them because either Geno or Fitzpatrick, they can't play, and then your quarterback situation's just kind of messy at that point.
So spread picks of the week: San Diego, Green Bay, the New York Giants, Denver, and the Jets. Like I said, we went 3-2 with our spread picks of the week last week. We're 51, 46, and 4 all time. The spread majority, 3-2 last week. We're going with the same thing: San Diego, Green Bay, the Giants, Denver, and the New York Jets. And that's actually what I went with too.
Well, woohoo for you! Let's see if my new formula for making picks works out this week. I'm going to guess no.
Yeah, I'm going to guess no, too.
All right. 47, what do you think? New formula, yay or nay?
Shake things up a little bit, I suppose.
Got to do it different when you're like 3-50 over the last 3 weeks. Brutal. Anything else? What would be your survivor pick if you didn't have Cincinnati, Dash?
What do you mean if I didn't have
I'm saying Cincinnati? If you'd already picked Cincinnati and you couldn't pick them, who would be your other survivor pick?
Well, let me say first. I took Arizona, the St. Louis Rams, and this is my third one, and I am going to say Cincinnati. But if I didn't go with Cincinnati, I don't know. This is a tough week, man. I think I'd go with Atlanta, though, because, again, the San Francisco 49ers. I know Atlanta's on the road. I know Atlanta screws me in
everything.
Betting and, just picks, whatever.
Everything. If we have our fantasy players.
But it's still San Francisco. Atlanta, they got the offense. They're going to go out there. They're going to win that game. I don't know if they're going to cover that line. The line's at, 7, something like that?
Yeah.
But I think Atlanta can still win that game.
What about New England at home? That line's like 14 right now.
Oh, yeah, if you haven't taken New England yet, which I haven't, but I'm not going to go with them yet. I'm going to try to go with some other teams.
All I got to do is outlast these 2 other dudes, and the money's mine.
Did you take New England? Yeah, you already took New England.
Yeah, I've taken New England, Arizona,
Atlanta?
Atlanta I've taken. Yeah, I think Dallas, the Giants.
You better switch to Cincy, man. They're going to blow Cleveland out.
Ugh, I don't know.
Especially if Johnny Manziel plays. Come
Dude's
on.
garbage. I might take Cleveland. That's all we got for you today. Thank you guys for coming in studio. Thank you, fans, for listening. Fans, any games or picks you want to hear us talk about, hit us up on Twitter at bet_the_spread. Hit me up on Twitter at betjimthewin. Hit us up on our Facebook page at facebook.com. Even if you want to look ahead to next week, if you're thinking about it already, let us know. We can try to put together something for that game. Keep coming back to our YouTube page, click and subscribe, and love football. My dog's about to break his leg.